the hop. What's up, Gabe?
Hi, Steven. How we doing, folks? Welcome back in. We are on round 61.
61. We're back in a
I don't
virtual...
know why we act so surprised. The numbers keep climbing, but I don't know. Every new round, it's like, wow, we made it here.
It's because it's like maybe 60 and a half more than I thought we'd do.
That's true. Yeah.
We're back in the boxes.
Yeah.
Back in the virtual format here. But we're doing it. We're here.
We have another great brewery. This one is very special, and it is Crowns and Hops out of Inglewood, California, or soon to be Inglewood, California. You'll hear a lot more about the brewery and about the beer we're drinking. We have two awesome beers, courtesy of craftbeerkings.com. Thank you for that. And very excited. We have a lot to cover for a new-ish brewery on the scene, changing the game in more ways than one.
I would say that's correct. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, I like to keep a picture of the brewery behind me. They don't even have a space yet. They've been doing
You're in the blueprint.
I'm in a drawing. They've been doing some contract brewing, very new space, like Gabe said, but they have a great story. They have an impressive amount of beer, given how young they are. And it's one of those breweries that we are so excited to have found, stumbled upon, and to get to share with you, because this is the moment where I really feel like we get to share a brewery that people may not have heard of. So it's an exciting moment.
Yeah, we get to kind of introduce them in a way, if a lot of people don't know about them, which is really great. And you'll hear a little bit later my thoughts on the can artwork. Spoiler alert. It's positive.
We always do. So if you're not already doing so, this is your weekly reminder that you can follow The Hop on Instagram and Twitter. We are at the HO Podcast. You can find us on YouTube to watch the show. We are a video product, and you can find us on there, see the beers that we're drinking live and in person, see the breweries behind us, get to see our smiling faces, which I think are pretty fun to look at.
That's probably the best part.
I do say so myself. And you can subscribe on YouTube, and once you've done that, you can click that bell, and you will get a notification whenever we post an episode, or if we decide to go live at any point, which could happen in the future. No promises, but you got to click that bell to know. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, Google, all those things. Wherever you're listening to us, you've obviously found us there, and you should subscribe on there as well. You can also rate and review on Apple Podcasts, and I really wish you would. That is a great way to give us your feedback about the show. Let us know what you like, what you hate, what you need, what you want to hear more of, what you want to hear less of, unless it's me or Gabe. You can't hear less of...
Maybe don't say that, but if you have another brewery in mind, we would love to hear it. We never really ask for this, but... just a thought, if you're looking to give a donation to the Hop, that money won't necessarily go in our pockets. That'll go toward future episodes and beer that, we have to order online, things like that. So if you're looking to do that, shoot us an email, things like that, but definitely follow, subscribe, let us know. We are here for you.
I didn't know you were going to do that.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's ask for money. I missed a meeting. But you can shoot us an email, thehopod@gmail.com. Donations don't necessarily come in the form of money. They also come in the form of beer. And if you send us beer, we will feature your beer on our show. And shout out to all the people who have done that already. We really appreciate it. So get in touch with us. Keep the conversation going. That's what we like.
Or if you just want to say hi. I mean, we're people.
Sure, that would work. Gabe, let's do some news.
Beer news.
Alrighty. Before we even get into the news, I do just want to say to our listeners, our people, our friends in Texas, we hope you're doing okay. We hope your fridge is stocked with food and with beer or wine or liquor or whatever may be your thing. And if you are a beer drinker, keep your eyes open, because this is the kind of thing you're going to start seeing. beer initiatives, things like that. The beer industry raising money for causes like this. We see it all the time, with the fires in California and Australia, and obviously different things. So keep an eye open for ways to give back. And if beer is, there are plenty of ways to do that without drinking beer, but you will start to see that in the coming months. And so not news, at least not our kind of news, but Texas people, we hope you're doing okay. In our world, Port Brewing and Lost Abbey have terminated their distribution deal with Stone Brewing. This is an interesting bit of news. We don't have a whole lot of details, but it's ending a 15-year partnership with Stone Distributing. So Stone has, their brewery, which has been on our show, but they also have a distribution channel, and that's what Lost Abbey, which also includes Pizza Port, also that fun little seltzer brand that they have, the Tiny Bubbles. All of that is included in this package. They've been with Stone Distributing for 15 years, dating back to the inception of Port Brewing in 2006. In a statement, owner Tommy Arthur, or Tom Arthur, or Tomei Arthur, we don't know how to say it, we never have, but he said that his company has exercised its contractual right to end the partnership without cause. He gave them a 60-day notice. So stay tuned. No further details yet as to what this means for their distribution channels, where they will be going forward. I know that they're all throughout California, and we're getting distribution up to Northern California as well. So, remains to be seen whether they'll be distributed by someone else and what that will mean for their distribution channel. So stay tuned. More to come.
It's Tommy with an E.
And 2 N's.
That's just how I picture that guy talking. Moving right along in the news and notes, New Belgium, who we featured on Round 22, go check it out, is launching a new website. It is called ismybeersustainable.com. It's all about how they can maintain, their focus on sustainability and a healthy environment. They practice these things all the time. So they have a new website out for their first beer that's carbon neutral, which was the Fat Tire Amber Ale. It's America's only certified carbon neutral beer right now, but they're hoping that they can expand this and other breweries can have other beers just like it. You can go to the website, again, ismybeersustainable.com. They've just launched it, and you can see the efforts they use to help consumers stay knowledgeable about the beer they are drinking. You can compare it to other beers and things like that. In a statement, the company also made a call to other breweries and saying that, if they want, they will share the carbon neutral blueprint recipe with any company that is looking to do this for them. And you can search and, like I said, compare with other popular beer brands like Corona, Budweiser, Blue Moon, Heineken, things like that. And it's just a really cool thing that New Belgium is doing. Like I said, Fat Tire is the only carbon neutral beer out there right now. So I would love to see this take effect into other breweries, especially maybe new ones. Yeah,
the website's kind of funny right now because they're going to update it as more certified carbon neutral beers exist. But right now the website's just kind of like, is it sustainable? And it's like Fat Tire, yes, and then all these other beers just like, we don't know.
Yeah, it's still in development. They'll get it soon. But that's a big piece of news, if I may say.
Yeah.
So
it's an exciting step that the company is taking. And like you said, go listen to Round 22 to hear about all of their sustainability practices and so much more. But this isn't about New Belgium. This is about Crowns and Hops. And Gabe,
yes, it is.
Lead us into it.
Okay, so I got a toast that's basically, crowns and hops. I thought of like kings and queens. So this is what I got today. Hit it. When my day comes to die, I will not beg for more time, nor will I cry. I've led a life filled with love and glory. My hope is that I leave this world with a smile on my face and the courage to sing my own death song. So while we're here, let's eat like kings and drink like the village idiot. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Crowns and Hops, kings and queens.
Why not?
I get the crown.
Abound.
I get the crown part of it. It's the hop part of it that's making me laugh because now I'm picturing a bunch of like well-dressed, like the Queen of England, just hopping around Buckingham Palace.
Well, yeah, that's how she does it. That's how they do it over there.
I mean, I haven't been to England, so I don't know what their culture's like.
It's a fun time, man. You got to go.
If I could just see those big fluffy hats just hopping around, that's how they get everywhere.
Oh my God.
Oh, this is so stupid. Let's go. Crowns and hops. So, this brewery, as we mentioned at the top, is very young, very new. They're out of Inglewood, California, or that's where they're located, but they don't brew there quite yet, but they will in this dope space behind me eventually. At least this is the proposal. It might look nothing like this, but this is the proposal.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, that's kind of the sneak peek, but they might just scrap the whole idea and go in a different direction.
Yeah.
But that's
This
their
is
concept
the
right now.
only image you can find on the internet of this. So this is what we got. We're kicking things off with their BPLB Hazy DIPA. This is obviously a hazy New England style IPA or double IPA, I should say, a DIPA or a diaper, as Gabe likes to refer to it as.
DIPA.
So BPLB, this is a new iteration of their IPA that they created of the same name, and that stands for Brown People Love Beer. And it says on the can it was created 6 years ago out of the noticeable lack of black and brown people in the craft beer community. Today, BPLB has become a global movement and a catalyst for change in the craft beer industry. So we talk about this a lot, but just a heads up, this is like why their brewery was founded. Like this is not one of those breweries where it's like, oh, it's a black-owned brewery that we didn't really know about. This is like a black-owned brewery that exists because of this exact cause. So
yeah,
we'll talk about it a lot.
The two founders and how they made everything, we'll talk about that. But yeah, it's not like, hey, let's start a brewery, let's start it was constructed in such a good cause way. I mean, it really is cool.
So this one is 8.5% ABV. Untapped has it at 4.16. The hop profile is El Dorado, Motica, and Sabro hops. And the malts are two-row flaked oats and pale wheat malt. We don't have a rating from Beer Advocate for either of their beers because that's how new they are.
I've got a very nice head retention, very pillowy. It's filled to the top, so I can't say what the lacing is yet. But we'll get there. Yeah,
I have a nice head retention, and I did the same thing, so I couldn't talk about lacing. It's very full. It's a very hazy, sort of golden yellow color. I mean, it looks like juice. That's how hazy it is. It's super opaque.
I can only imagine what this is going to taste like. I can already tell you it smells very how descriptive it was and how I thought it would be. Very, very citrusy, very, very cloudy, some hoppiness to it.
Mm-hmm. Very citrusy, and the citrus is forward. And when I say citrus in this case, I think I'm saying pineapple first for me. It's
tropical.
It's very tropical. But the Sabro hops do add an earthiness to it. There's like a spiciness on the nose, I think. I don't get a lot of resin. I don't get a lot of pine per se. I don't get a lot of malt. I mostly get a really pungent like pineapple and maybe some grapefruit too. A lot of citrus, but it's, like I said, it looks like juice. I mean, it's SRM probably 5.6. It's more yellow than...
Yeah, it's more darkish yellow, golden.
Yeah.
In a way. For those of you on YouTube, you can see the color.
You should be on YouTube. You should see the color.
Ah, it smells so good. But because it's California, this is probably it's probably going to taste like a West Coaster rather than like a New England. So
you'd think that if you didn't live in California.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but
no, the New England style is is all about it out there. And this one, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm not getting a lot of like pine or anything on the nose. I'm not getting a lot of hops. The brewery's description, this beer offers notes of tropical fruit, pineapple, and guava found in the classic BPLB recipe. The addition of the Sabro hops brings notes of coconut and citrus to the palate. The beer is designed to have an incredible mouthfeel and aroma, punctuating the hops and process, culminating in a bouquet of tropical, fruit-forward flavors that make you say, damn, this beer is dope.
I mean, that's what I was saying. Like, based off of that, tropical fruit, pineapple. I mean, it's definitely there. It's not hiding at all, and it smells really, really good. I am getting a little bit of hop. You're not getting very much hops.
I guess a little bit, but it's more. Maybe it's hiding.
It's like
behind
in the background. Yeah,
it's hiding behind the pineapple, the citrus, the grapefruit, the guava.
Well, I don't know about you, but I didn't come here to sniff beer. I came here to sip it. So.
I just came to sniff it.
You do you. I'm going to drink.
Cheers.
Here we go. Okay, so stickiness on that glass. That foam hasn't gone anywhere, and it is completely sticking to the sides. That is nice.
A lot of lacing.
It feels very medium to full-bodied. Good carbonation, not too much. I do think it is more closer to the New England style than West Coast style, but it's not as juicy as some we've had in the past. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh yeah, that's New England. It's like, between New England and West Coast, it's like just to the side of in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yes. I had a beer the other night from White Lion Brewing Company. I feel like we could say that. They've been on our show. Which is the juiciest motherfucker I've ever had in my life. And so now that I've got that in my brain, this isn't as juicy as it might seem. It's well balanced. A lot of citrus, though. Yeah. I mean, that is dominant. There is an earthiness to it. I think the hops come through in the mouth. The Sabro hops add this like grassy straw hay thing to it, as well as like a spiciness. So it's sort of peppery in the mouth. In a nice way. I think that it follows the nose pretty solidly. And then in terms of mouthfeel, to me, the defining characteristic is creamy. Like, it's those flaked oats that just make it like luscious in your mouth, fluffy, and just like a flavorful meal on your palate.
Fluffy is the perfect word. Fluffy, definitely fluffy. I love the bitterness aftertaste. It's not, just straight bitterness. It's fruity bitterness. It's got a taste to it. It's got a flavor to it. So when you take a sip and it's just flavorful all throughout, well done. That's that shit we do like.
Are you getting any booze?
No.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call it
a little sneak.
Yeah, I'm going to call it dangerous because it's funny you mentioned that. I honestly forgot what the ABV was. This don't taste like 8.5 at all. No. So you have two of these, you're going to be like this.
Yeah, this one tastes like 6 or something. It's a really well done hazy DIPA or diaper.
See, it's stuck in your head now. You're welcome. You're never gonna get it out.
It's really well done though. It's actually I don't want to say it's surprising, but it's sort of like it's a brewery that their beers aren't on Beer Advocate yet. You never know what you're gonna get. Sometimes you get beers that are like a little bit more, let's say, rustic, a little bit less perfected. You never really know what you're gonna get. But this is very well done, very balanced. Very like if you're a New England IPA drinker, this is going to hit all the marks for you.
Oh yeah, and I think I'll say that I agree with that, but I'll also say this: if you prefer the West Coast style and you want to get into the New England style game, this is a good transition into that
because it's got the bite.
Well, it's got the bite and it's got what you're looking for, but it's not. It's not as juicy, as I said, as other ones. So it's a good way to like slowly transition to the New England style if you only like West Coast. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't get any malt flavor off it. I think the defining characteristic of the malt to me is, like I said, that mouthfeel that comes from the flaked oats. Whenever we have oats in a beer, it always adds this luscious, velvety mouthfeel that is really pleasant on the palate. I don't know that it does much in the way of taste, but it really helps make it a creamier just beer to drink.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I think it's so easy going down for the light carbonation and the medium to full mouthfeel. I mean, it's easy to drink.
Yeah.
And I think that's why at 8.5,
it's a little sneaky. Yeah.
Doing a little bit of research about this beer, I wouldn't consider it a quote unquote flagship, but I know it is one of their more popular ones. As you said, it's a spin off of one of their other beers, but this is definitely, we could start to talk about the brewery now, but this was one of the beers that Crowns and Hops, anytime there was like some sort of social event and they were just like publicizing, having publicity for the brewery. I mean, they had this beer and everyone loved it.
Was it this beer or was it the single IPA?
It might have been both.
Yeah.
But I think looking it up, I do think I remember seeing this logo. Mm-hmm. It could have been the single, but
yeah, because they have that logo on all the. Because it was kind of confusing today when we were researching it. I had to keep going back and be like, all right, which one do we have? Because their IPA is called BPLB, and then they spun it off and made a double version of the same beer, but with the same name and logo, just different colors. So, but it's been around, and it's, like I said, it's part of their identity. So. The brewery, was founded on a real mission to increase diversity in the beer industry. It was founded by Beny Ashburn and Teo Hunter. They met on Tinder, and so
they did meet on Tinder. I was gonna leave that part out, but it's true. They did meet on Tinder.
Keep swiping people because you might have a brewery. Keep those thumbs moving. You never know. It didn't work out as a date,
The hop with Gabe and Steven. Keep swiping.
It didn't work out as a date, but they ended up forming a brewery together. Well, first they formed a social justice cause. They call themselves Dope and Dank, which I am obsessed with.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. It was a lifestyle brand that they created. They wanted to start the movement of diversifying the beer game. They started it about 7 years ago. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier about the hosting events and, online content. Obviously not with this beer at the time. But one of the goals they had was partnering with California craft brewers to bring craft beer tastings to other Black community spaces, kind of like California barbershops and things like that. And so they were on a mission and they made it happen as Dope and Dank.
I love that.
Incredible.
Hi, I'm Dope. This is Dank.
And that's how they introduced themselves. Like that, it's the coolest thing. Like these two people, like Beny and Teo, they seem like two awesome people to go grab a beer with. Like no joke. Like 100%, I would definitely grab a beer with them.
Absolutely, in a heartbeat. Teo is the head brewmaster, brewer operations, and he's in charge of the beer side of things. And then Beny is the CEO. And so they describe their company as dedicated to preserving culture, expansion of the palate, and community building through world-class beer. And as we said, they're headquartered in Inglewood. They don't have a spot in Inglewood per se, but that's where they are going to have their spot and where they want to brew going forward.
They want to be the first Black-owned independent craft brewery in Inglewood, California, which, I mean,
yeah,
well done.
Yeah.
Well done, because this beer's dope, so sign me up.
Yeah, I'm all about it. All the beer in the Los Angeles area, I support anyway, and this is just beer for a great cause. They state on their website, our mission is to create spaces that are community-centric with underserved communities of color in mind, driving diversity, economic growth, and influencing inclusion. And what I really loved in just researching their kind of mission is that they talk about inclusion and extending the mission beyond just Black brewing to Black ownership, Black entrepreneurship, and Black investors
Yes.
in the breweries, and really creating an ecosystem that puts money back in the hands of Black families as opposed to having some white angel investor, owning a Black brewery. They really want to create this ecosystem designed to increase equity and diversity and inclusion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're doing it really right. And to start, as we said, they started as a lifestyle brand with a mission, and now they're going into a brewery and they're bringing their mission to the brewery. So it really is like kind of we haven't really seen anything like this before on the hop for all the breweries we featured. So it really is kind of new. And I did want to brag about them a little bit. They got a lot of recognition from Time as changing the face of beer. And Imbibe magazine named them Beer People of the Year in 2018. So they clearly know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They clearly have a good mission. They have a great cause. And they're bringing people together in California all together to sample great beer.
Yeah, they raised $75,000 in 2019 via crowdfunding, and then another $150,000 came into them from a Scottish craft brewery named Brewdog. And I am going to go on a tangent about Brewdog in just a minute.
Go right ahead.
But that's where they got a lot of money, through those different forums. That's helped them. They're now, I think Brewdog has them contract brewing out of their facility in California while they get to they've contract brewed with a few different spaces in California, but they, I think, are now contract brewing out of Brewdog until this is up and running.
Until that is not a photo and it's got walls
or drawing
and taps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Gabe, what do you know about Brewdog? Are you familiar with Brewdog?
I feel like
You can't read the doc. That doesn't count.
Well, that's why I'm looking up. I feel like I only know the basics, but I'm always ready to learn. Okay. So go into your tangent and let's hear it.
Here's the deal. Brewdog is a Scottish brewery that might have been British.
That was not Scottish. Woo! That was Cockney if it was a day. Donkey! I'm just trying to sound like Shrek at this point.
You say Scottish in a Scottish accent.
I'm having a great time.
That's not what I said to say. All right, this doesn't matter. They're a badass brewery. They have more than this is the only reason I want to talk about them. They have more than once claimed to have brewed the strongest beer ever made. So put on your seatbelts, strap in for what I'm about to tell you. Okay. In 2009, they set the record, purportedly, with a beer that they called the Tactical Nuclear Penguin, which was 32% alcohol by volume. I don't even know what to play for that.
Bang! Exclamation point!
Oh my god.
That's
yeah, I'm playing both because I don't know how to feel.
What do you mean, ew? That sounds amazing.
32%.
I mean, one sip would knock you out.
That's insane. But I'm not done. In 2010, so then there was this whole battle with there's like a German brewer that beat them out with something that was like 40. So in order to reclaim the title, they then brewed a freeze distilled beer called The End of History, which was 55% ABV. The bottles were packaged in small stuffed animals and were priced at apparently 500 to 700 euros a piece. I don't know what that is in American, but I bet it's a lot. So again,
bang! Exclamation point!
Oh my god.
Ew.
Yeah, 55.
Packaging in small stuffed animals.
55.
So that's one thing, but I'm still on the stuffed animal thing. So you're telling me if I got a stuffed animal little ducky that if inside is going to be beer?
I don't even know how to. It's mind blowing, and they only made 12 bottles of it, and now they no longer have the record because someone apparently brewed a beer that's 67.5% alcohol. I think
wait, how how much is the Sam Adams Utopia? Isn't that like
It's
120 or something?
No, it's like 23.
Oh, it costs 120. Oh, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
the ABV is like 23%.
Oh, well then forget them. They're not even on the board. But
67.5 is like bordering on grain alcohol. It's insane.
You take a shot of that, you're going to be hammered.
You take a sip, you smell that, you're going to be hammered.
I think my next fantasy football team name is going to be Tactical Nuclear Penguin.
Honestly, I'll write down the other one. I don't remember what the other one was.
Hold on, I'll find it.
That's the end of history. That's what
the end of history.
It's not as good a team name, but
wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, indeed.
David Rose was right.
Yeah, it's startling. It's like we are big fans on this show of high alcohol beer.
We get a 10%er and we're like, oh, we're in it now.
But 55. I mean, my record is 18. I've had an 18% beer. That's a lot. That's heavy. But 55 is like, I mean, that's why they only made 12 bottles of it. And like, if you spent 700 euros on one of those bottles, and do you have any concept of what that is in American?
I don't. If you had said pounds, like in England, I'd probably be able to figure it out. But euro is, I don't know what the conversion rate is. I think
that's what that symbol is. What's that symbol right there?
That's a euro.
Okay.
Wait.
I don't know.
That might be pounds.
You lived there. You're supposed to know these things.
It's been a while. I lived there. I studied abroad. It's been a while. 500 pounds would be like, you know what? I'm not even going to say it because I'm probably going to get it wrong, and then we're going to get a bunch of
on the show.
We're going to get a bunch of 1-star reviews that's like Gabe doesn't know his conversion rates. So you know what?
1 star. Love the show, but they don't know anything about British currency.
I was personally offended being a patron of the UK. Anyway, Crowns and Hops.
Anyway, yeah, this has nothing to do with anything. Crowns and Hops isn't doing any of that, but Brewdog is just a badass brewery that's helping them of get on their feet, gave them a big investment, and a craft brewery too. Brewdog is, they're very big and they have a lot of angel investors and things like that, but it's not like a big beer situation. They just have a bunch of investor shares. So it's great to see them. Crowns and Hops just fit in with Brewdog's overall mission, which on the one hand includes brewing beer that could literally murder people, and on the other hand includes creating, giving small breweries a platform. So it's great.
100%. And, like I said, Beny and Teo really know what they're doing, and, they are a voice for the voiceless, more or less. And I like I said, I really just want to, I would love to have them on the show. I would love to get more Crowns and Hops beer. We only have this one and another beer that we should get into, but I would love to sit down and talk with them and have a beer. They seem so chill. If you go to the Crowns and Hops website, I mean, if you look at their about page, there's a video of them talking about like how they got started and things like that. And they're literally cartoons. And it's just like the way we are, and with them, it's just like we would have like the best day.
It would be great. Yeah, their beer is since you kind of mentioned it, it's only in California right now. That's where you can get it, unless you go on which we've shouted out on the show before. craftbeerkings.com does have a good selection, and they ship to a number of states, including ours. So check it out. We do have another beer to get into. Do you want to offer some final thoughts on this BPLB Hazy Double India Pale Ale, the DIPA? You did it. It's your fault.
I would like to formally apologize to anyone who's offended, but if you say it with a Brooklyn accent, DIPA, it's funny. I love it. I think it's you hit it perfectly well when you said fluffy. It's got the fluffiness to it, but it doesn't have the bite, but you'll feel the bite afterward. It's just a solid double IPA. I really like it. This is definitely one that I know you have one or two more. I wish I had one more. I've got two of the next beer we have, so I've got another one after that. But I really enjoy it. Definitely dangerous. So tread lightly, but love it. Big fan.
Yeah, it's a solid hazy double IPA. Everything you're looking for in a double New England IPA, this hits it out of the park. And I think it's refreshing that it's that hop blend of Motica and Eldorado and Sabro and not Citric and Mosaic. It's something a little different. It's subtle, but it's different.
We've had so many. Oh, we love this. We love those,
They're
but
great.
we've had just so many of those. So it's nice to branch out.
It's a subtle difference. Yeah. So beer number 2.
Beer number 2, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Beer number 2. We've got a fun stout. It is called the Urban Anomaly Stout, brewed with chocolate wheat, aka that good. And that is not me. That is from the can. That is from the brewery.
Brewed with that good.
Brewed with that good. It is 6%. No IBUs to speak of on the SRM chart. It's a stout.
Yeah.
It's dark as hell.
4-0.
We're going to call a fun 4-0.
Yeah.
Beer Advocate, like we said, didn't review it yet. Untapped gave it a 3.75. From the can, Urban speaks to more than race or a city. It speaks to character, tenacity, and out-of-box thinking. The anomaly, the standout, the outlier, the fearless one who are surrounded by an environment that appears to create walls or barriers to achieving success. Rather, the urban anomaly flourishes in any space despite the conditions, familiar or foreign, always striving for growth while exhibiting strength, tolerance, and empathy. It is made with Cascade hops. The malts are 2-row, chocolate wheat, crisp brown malt, and smoked malt.
Yeah, so this one is they have a whole bunch of stouts and imperial stouts that are called similar things. Urban X, Urban Y. I don't have the names in front of me, but this is among those that sort of series. And if you're on YouTube, you can see the can there with that fun little crown logo that they have.
Look how sexy this can artwork is. I mean, this one and this one, like the gold and the black background, like that's so sick. That's sexy.
It's really nice. And then they have other ones that are like gold with a dark red background. Like there's like, fun little, but they have a really nice
that red
looking brand.
coffee thing that we'll talk about in a bit. I don't remember the name of it.
Scrumdiddlyumptious.
Scrumdiddlyumptious.
Yeah, but this one this one poured with a solid tan head, which lingered for a bit and then dissipated into a ring around the glass. As we said, it's solid black, a sweet 4-0, but it's, it looks like a stout. It walks like a stout. It talks like a stout.
It smells like a stout.
It smells like a stout.
Yeah. Roasted malt, chocolate.
Yeah. Coffee, all the things we always talk about. And I think that knowing that the smoked malt in there's definitely a smoky quality to this, a tobacco, espresso, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Tobacco leaf.
Like you just turned your smoker on to smoke some meat.
Take us back to the Super Bowl or 4th of July. It's really great. It's very rich, but also intense at the same time. Not intense in the sense of, you won't be able to take it, but it just smells like, oh yeah, this is a stout. This will put hair on your chest.
This one smells boozier than the DIPA.
100%.
And it's not, though. It's 6%. It's not an imperial stout. It's a classic stout. But it does smell boozier than that. And there's a definite sweetness coming off the nose. Vanilla, caramel, mocha, all of those things, some dark sugar, maybe definitely some sweet notes behind the roasted malt and all that.
The note from the brewery says, intended to be a reminder to the world that even in sunny California, a proper stout can be enjoyed all year round. Notes of chocolate, coffee, and hint of smoked malt character that add an element of depth and complexity while encouraging the next sip. Me oh my, call a doctor.
Call a doctor. Yeah, and there's no lactose in this, but I do smell some. I smell some creaminess or some milk sugar,
A little bit, yeah.
Those notes are there. I mean, that's not in there, but those notes are there. I'm excited to drink this one. I already feel a little boozed up from the last one. We're recording earlier in the day than we normally do, so...
You know the expression, it's 5 o'clock somewhere? We took that and we ran with it, and so here we are. So
which
cheers.
meant our stomachs were a little emptier than they normally are.
I feel like we should do that. I think we're funnier. Is that bad?
Let's record at 10 a.m., dude. I'm just spitballing. I'm just throwing out ideas.
I mean, okay.
All right, here we go.
Carbonation. Wow. It's very carbonated. It tastes like a chocolate, like, frappuccino. It's very complex. It's got, you know, a lot of those classic stout flavors, but it is very... It's like carbonated coffee in a way. That sounds really bad, but I don't mean it to sound bad.
It's funny that the first thing you picked out was carbonation. I mean, like you said, for me, all of those notes are there. Roasted malt, nuts, whatever
Nutty,
nuts taste
yeah.
like. But there's a nuttiness to this. Chocolate and coffee, but the carbonation is... I mean, I even wrote in our doc, gentle carbonation, because we didn't have any information on this beer. We're just predicting what we might... And that's not this is a strong carbonation, more than you would expect for a stout. And it's surprising. It's really like fizzy in the mouth. It's sort of hard to get past that because you're like, yeah, I'm getting these flavors, but like, wow, this is like way more alive than a stout usually is.
Yeah, and I especially if you're one who really likes stouts or even imperial stouts, not that this is an imperial, but I mean, it's very surprising. Like the first thing I tasted, I was like, whoa, like it's very, this will wake you up.
Because you're expecting, like, I feel like always when you drink a stout, you're expecting Guinness. You're expecting a nitro-carbonated, soft carbonated, really velvety, really creamy mouthfeel. And when you take a sip of something and you get those flavors, but in your mouth, it's acting like a sour almost. Like it's that much zing.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. It's obviously not a sour, but it does kind of have characteristics of a sour. It does have that zing. Like my tongue is very like bubbly in a way. Mm-hmm. It's just the flavors are there. I mean, you definitely get that chocolate, that espresso, like all of that roasted malt 100%, but yeah, I'm not getting like vanilla or caramel on the taste at all. Maybe on the smell, not the taste at all. I mean, the carbonation is very bam, you know what I mean? Like it's there.
What is it?
It's bam.
That was for the YouTube people. Head over to youtube.com, search for the Hop Craft Beer Podcast. I think that I was expecting the taste to be less sweet than the nose, because we see that a lot especially with stouts. You take a whiff of a stout, and on the nose you just get like, you could list 15 things that you're like, oh my god, there's so, like, it's like tiramisu, there's just so much, it's dessert, and then you drink it and you're like, oh no, I mean, okay, yeah, that's pretty, it's much cleaner.
Taste and smell.
So I was expecting that. What I wasn't expecting was the carbonation, and it's, like I said, it's sort of hard to get past it. I mean, the notes are there: coffee, espresso, cold brew coffee. I think in the back end, it's pretty clean. In the mouth, it doesn't leave a whole lot of aftertaste. It's pretty. I mean, there's a little bit of lingering roasted malt, but it's pretty clean. But that carbonation is just wild.
It's overpowering.
And I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I like it, I don't like it.
I mean, I think we're just not used to it. I mean, maybe that's why we're kind of like, we'll see. But I think for me personally, I would probably say if the carbonation dialed back just like a little bit, it would be a little bit better for me. But it's not, undrinkable. I mean, You could certainly get through this, but it is very woof. I mean, it's there. It's going to wake you up. I mean, at the same time, have I ever had a stout like this? No. So this certainly stands out.
This is kind of what I was saying earlier with this sort of like rustic where it's like, I mean, and this isn't their first rodeo with the stout. They have plenty of stouts, but it's just a sort of thing where it's like, you're not going to see that often. And maybe there's a reason for that. I don't know. There is a sort of standard with stouts where you expect them to be lower carbonation. Maybe there's a reason to that. I don't think it's off-putting to me. I just think maybe some of those notes will come through a little more if it was dialed back. Maybe they'll do that in the future. I don't know. But it does make it stand out, and not in a bad way. It's intriguing. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. I think I will say the more sips I take, the more I'm kind of getting used to it. So maybe it was just like an initial shock. But, I mean, it's very drinkable. It's got those flavors. If you're looking for a stout, this is definitely it. I think I would say maybe cozy by the fire type of stout, although it's not very winter warming to me. It's more of,
no.
I think I would put it more of, I'm in the mood for a stout. Doesn't matter what time of day or where you're at. Grab one of these.
Yeah. It's a classic American stout.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not winter. It's not an imperial stout. It's not warming in the mouth. It's not particularly. I mean, it's got good flavor in terms of roasted malt, but it's not particularly it's not a dessert beer. It's not sweet. It's not anything like that.
Yeah.
This one's for the stout drinkers, and it will satisfy you if you like stouts. Pretty much.
100%. Yeah. I think it's really good.
How's that for in-depth analysis?
Yeah. Hard to compare the two because they're so different. But based off of today, I think I'm going to go with the double just because I think it's a little bit better and more my speed. But I did like the stout.
For me, I think the DIPA is it definitely is my preference based on my preferences, but I also think it's a really well done iteration of the style, whereas this one I'm like, this is not a take against this. I don't want people to think that I'm like saying this beer isn't good. It is good. It's just like when I reach for a stout, I have an expectation, and this one was not that, which I think could be refreshing in a lot of ways. And I'm actually enjoying it just because it's like, oh, I'm intrigued. This is not what I thought I was getting. But if I'm going to order one again, it's probably going to be the DIPA.
Speaking of beers to order, if you're not interested in either of these beers, Crown and Hops has plenty of other good ones. And I found the one we were talking about. It is the Urban Queen Imperial Stout with Red Bay King's Prize Coffee.
They're magically delicious.
Okay.
It sounds delicious.
I was like, is King's Prize Coffee like an Irish thing?
No, it just sounds really good. That's why he's still here in the soundboard.
Oh my God. If you like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know if you want us to like just kill that drop.
On YouTube, there's going to be a little visual of that leprechaun.
I love it. I can't wait for it. But yeah, I mean, going back to the can artwork, I really wanted, this was the one time in my life that I was like so mad I didn't have a chess set. Because for taking photos, I would have absolutely had like the king and queen chess pieces. I would have worked that in somehow.
Yeah, the Urban Queen sounds absolutely delicious. They have a bunch of other options, several iterations, like we said, of their Urban series, which includes the Urban Anomaly as well as some Urban Stouts, which I guess are retired now. There's an Urban Knight, which is the Imperial Stout. They have a Beat Messenger, which I really just like the can because it's like it's basically exactly this Urban Anomaly can, but red.
But red,
so I'm semi-obsessed with that.
The color scheme is just can artwork is, it's a form of art, and I just love the fact that my eye just gets drawn to it. Like if you're in a beer shop and you see that can next to a kind of a basic sort of artwork, like, I mean, right away, you're going to look at this and then you're going to read the beer and think, do I want to drink this? But I mean, it really is cool. So if you got to check out the site. And I just found the original BPLB, the Hazy IPA. And that one's a little less. It's 6.5%. So
Yeah.
rightfully
And then
so.
one of their flagships is the 8 Trill Pills, which they
Yes.
have everywhere. And it's, I don't know if it's their first beer, but it's one of their flagships. So it's clearly a Pilsner, but it's named the 8 Trill Pills because the W.K. Kellogg Foundation published the business case for racial equality and suggested that by 2050, the U.S. stands to realize an $8 trillion gain in GDP by closing the racial equity gap. So the point there is racial equality is not just a social justice thing, although, that's a solid reason, should be for anybody. But at the same time, there's a financial element to this. There's an economic element to this. And by closing this racial equity gap, according to this study, the U.S. could gain $8 trillion in GDP. So therefore, 8 Trill Pills.
Yay!
Steven, guess what?
What?
I'm not sober. Anyway, moving right along. They do have a Black is Beautiful. They're calling it their Black is Beautiful Pecan Pie Stout. Okay, pecan pie, sign me up. But yeah, they have a lot of.
I don't generally support things that involve nuts. So this puts me in a weird position because I really support Black is Beautiful and I don't support pecan, so I don't really know what to do.
Well,
speaking of Black is Beautiful, though, this wasn't in the news and notes, but just throwing out there that some breweries decided to barrel age their Black is Beautifuls, which...
Bang! Exclamation point!
And those things are starting to mature and come out now. So when you see new Black is Beautifuls hit the market, they might have been aged in a barrel, just saying.
This is a promise from the hop. We will get those. We will drink those, and we will report back. Again, bunch of different beers. They have a Great Notion collab strawberry guava goza. Crown and Axes is what they're calling it. I mean, they have, it's another brewery. They don't have, thousands of beers, but the beers they do have all look incredible, sound incredible, and probably are incredible. So you got to check it out.
Yeah, so to wrap this place up, if you have access to beer in California or to craftbeerkings.com, you should try and get your hands on this brewery. Great brewery for a great cause. And I look forward to moving back to Los Angeles and being able to grab a beer at this place when they have it open. So Crowns and Hops.
Look how sexy this can artwork is. Look at it.
Well done.
Damn it.
Before we get out of here, we like to end things on a fun topic, and we're going to talk about outer space. Is that okay? Is that okay with you?
It's fine with me. Let's do it.
So there's two things. Number one, NASA just launched a rover on Mars, and I didn't watch the landing. They all seemed really excited about it. As well they should be. They worked their asses off on that.
Did it break yet?
It did not break. It's going strong. It's on Mars. Apparently it's going to be up there for like 2 Earth years, which is, I guess, like 1 and some change Mars year. It's just going to comb, like there's this lake that's drained out now, and it's just going to comb the surface of this lake meticulously, apparently, looking for signs of life. So
fun. Fun. Why not? Yeah. Is there like a link we can click on to go see it? Why was that funny?
Fun.
I'm serious.
You just sounded so sarcastic.
No, I legitimately, like, it does sound kind of, I'm very buzzed. It does sound kind of cool. We've been.
It's so cool. It's like
we've been looking for life forms on Mars for like how long?
Yeah, and this is gonna be the one that's gonna try and find it. Apparently, they're looking for like bacteria. I mean, in my dreams, they come across like Optimus Prime, but I mean,
that's what I'm hoping for. I want to see like this machine just kind of be scanning and then stop, and someone's just like doing something, and they kind of look up and they look at the camera and they're like, "Oh, I'm on camera. Uh-oh, what do we do here?" I would love that. Would be hilarious.
But here's the other thing about outer space, irrespective of this, because everyone's talked about this. But there was an ad during the Super Bowl that, to be very honest, I missed and you missed because we were together.
I don't remember this at all.
But they re-aired it during SNL, and I heard it, and it just caught my eyes and ears, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
This fall, Inspiration 4 launches as the first all-civilian mission to space. And you could be on board. Visit inspiration4.com for your chance to go to space.
So it's SNL. I mean, it's like 12:15 in the morning, and I'm watching this, and I'm pretty buzzed because that's how I do SNL. And I'm like,
Amen.
wait, what? And I went to that website, and they are sending a mission to space. And you did not hear her wrong, because I heard it a lot, because I edited that clip. So I heard it a lot. They said this fall.
What are the requirements to do this? Because, oh my God, if 2020 has taught us anything, it's that some Americans are stupid. So who are we sending to space?
It also taught us that this planet has some problems right now. And so I'm torn, because I'm like, I'd leave the planet. That seems like an answer.
I'm not going to lie. I was just going to say that it doesn't sound like it sounds kind of dope.
But they said all civilian mission to space. So I have several questions, one of which
Who's
is
in charge?
who's driving? All
okay,
civilian?
I don't know. Ted, you got to go straight. No, we're going over there.
Because, and I'm not making light of this at all, but over the summer I watched that Challenger documentary on Netflix about, and you know, they had a teacher on there, and that was like she was going to be like the first civilian to go to space, and then that thing blew up in a blaze of fire. And I'm sort of like, after watching that, I'm sort of like, yeah, I don't want to be the first, like, you know, give that a few dry runs and then come back and let me know, you know, when it's like United Airlines safe. That's a bad example, because United literally just crashed a plane. When it's like, it's fine because no one got hurt, so I could.
That's good.
I didn't mean to make that joke, but it.
We're gonna get some emails.
Okay, when it's like Amtrak safe, when it's like that routine, I'll go to space.
I'm interested in going to space just because of all the photos of zero gravity, like. You know, you like have water and it's in like little bubbles and it's floating around. Like that to me, it's like, I want to experience that. I feel like I would like the training seminar where they like you go up and down and you like start floating and you're like, whoa.
I'd like that because you could turn it off. My fear in space is like, what if? So have you seen the picture, the like stuff about like astronauts that have gone like free floating, like they untether from their spaceship and they just go floating.
And
I'm like. How do you get back? What I mean, what if you can't?
That's what I'm saying. Like
you
they
can't.
must
Like
have,
it's not like swimming. You can't like.
They're in space. Like oh my god.
You can't like wade your way back to the spaceship. You're just floating. Like
do they have like jetpacks or something? They press a button and it just shoots them like toward.
I don't know.
Yeah, all I could think of. I didn't see the movie, but I saw plenty of previews in the trailer for the movie Gravity. All I could think of is Sandra Bullock just flying away while George Clooney's trying to hold on to her.
And also like when you, even within the spacecraft, like you gotta, like things you don't think of, you have to like learn how to, like when you go to sleep, you have to be like tethered in. And so there's all these pictures of people and they're like sleeping, but their arms are just floating in this, because they're like strapped down, but their arms are just in the air. Yeah. And like their hair, like if they have long hair, it's just up in the sky.
Space sounds kind of dope. I'm not gonna lie. I say we go. I say we do the podcast up there. I don't know how we would do it, but I'm sure they have outlets. We could plug in this stuff, right? That simple, right?
That hurt me on a physical level. Just trying to, because of all the logistics we've had to figure out of like how to go about recording and recording remotely, and then you just said let's do it in space, and I was like, there are so many problems. There's not even ready
enough editing in the world we could do.
All right, we got to get out of here, guys.
I can't believe that's a real commercial. Well done.
That's a real commercial, and that's narrated by Octavia Spencer. So, shout out to her. Crowns and Hops. What can we say? It's the kind of brewery we love to feature on the show. We're so happy we got to do them, and so check them out if you can. You know, they'll have this dope space or a dope space in the near future, and their beers are absolutely worth a grab.
Yes.
great brewery for a great cause. So we can't say enough about them. We'll be back next week because we're always back next week, and we appreciate you. We appreciate your rates, your reviews, your comments, your emails, your beers that you send us, and everything else. And please keep in touch with us.
Please keep in touch with us. Please keep communicating. We love that. Let us know what to drink next. Support local businesses. Love each other. Drink good beer. We'll see you guys.
Stay safe, Texas.